All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Golden Disc Collection, Autobot Puffer, and Autobot Road Ranger. This is our second Amazon exclusive Golden Disc Collection set. The first set, of course, was Jackpot with Sights, and this time around, instead of a deluxe and a little Micromaster, we're getting two deluxes. They're both repaints, remolds of the Huffer mold, the Huffer and Pipes mold. Pipes is pretty close to being due to start showing up places. I think some places have started seeing him, especially in like some other countries, but I haven't seen it yet, so I don't have Pipes yet. So this guy is my first exposure to the remolded parts as Pipes. But either way, you know, it's still largely the same figure. And yeah, these two characters have some pretty interesting history to them. Puffer, first of all, is so if you're familiar with the character of Bumper or Bumble Jumper, who is basically like the third sort of G1 mini bot that shared the Bumblebee Cliff Jumper sort of like transformation scheme, and people kind of figured like, oh, he's sort of halfway in between Cliff Jumper and halfway in between Bumblebee because his car is more similar to Cliff Jumper, but he's also yellow. So, and he didn't really like have an official name at the time, so they named him so like fans called him Bumble Jumper, and then later just Bumper, and now it's been made into like an actual character. Well, Puffer is sort of a similar story to that, in that basically in some parts of Europe and I think Mexico, there were like releases of Pipes that were actually using the Huffer mold. So it was like he had the blue color, but he was more similar in body type to Huffer, because Pipes and Huffer had like little differences to them. So Pipes, Huffer, Puffer is what the fans called him, and now it's official. Now we've got Puffer as an actual character. And yeah, you know, it's a nice little truck mode for Puffer here. He's using the Pipes mold, and we'll take a look at Road Ranger as well. Road Ranger is another interesting story. So Road Ranger originally was a GoBot, which was, you know, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of GoBots, they're basically like, you know, Tonka's GoBots was the main competitor to Hasbro's Transformers, but obviously eventually Transformers like far out competed GoBots. And eventually, not necessarily due to this, but I'm not really sure, Hasbro actually ended up acquiring Tonka, and as a result, sort of had the license to use a bunch of GoBot names. And in like there was like a little e-hobby set that basically released a bunch of repaints of G1 mini bots as GoBots characters. Like, for example, Bug Bite. You know, we've seen him a lot more recently. The original Bug Bite was a GoBot that turned into a yellow Volkswagen similar to Bumblebee. So as a reference to that, they they did a repaint of G1 Bumblebee, not in yellow, because then it would have been, you know, the same figure, but in white, just as like kind of a cool sort of new color scheme. And one of the other ones in that little e-hobby pack was Road Ranger, which was a repaint of Huffer, obviously. And I think the original Road Ranger is blue, orange. I'm not a huge I'm not I don't have a lot of knowledge on GoBots, so I'll probably be wrong about that. But either way, it's not black. But the G1 mini bot repaint of Huffer was this sort of black and orange color scheme. So that's what Road Ranger is here, and he's just straight up using the same Puffer or the same Huffer mold, except with a new head sculpt in robot mode, which we'll get to. They come with the same accessories as their respective figures. So Puffer comes with the same accessories as Pipes, and Road Ranger comes with the same accessories as Huffer. So in terms of storage, you know, you can it has the same sort of like neat storage for Road Ranger using the Huffer mold, because you can just plug this plate onto the back here and then take the little gun that he comes with, and you split it down the middle, and then there's these little slots right here, which will correspond to little grooves on this, and you can make him basically a little truck bed. And that's nice. You know, I didn't really love that accessory for Huffer just because, like, having a big gun and a shield didn't really feel like very in character. And when you put the plate on, then he can no longer tow Prime's trailer. So I just kind of left those accessories in the box for Huffer himself. But I do like it on Road Ranger as kind of like a nice way of differentiating him from Huffer a little bit. And for Puffer here, I'm going to get these names all mixed up all the time because Huffer, Pipes, Puffer, Road Ranger is just, you know. For these, I mean, there's a few different places you can plug them. How they want you to plug them in is just in the back like this, which I think probably is the best solution to get them kind of out of the way. If you wanted them to act more like pipes, you could plug them into the side. They look a little bit ridiculous and make it kind of stupid and wide, but I don't know. It's a vibe if you want to do that. Or you could alternatively plug it into the hands back here to kind of stick up like on the back. I also think that looks bad. That's probably the worst solution in my opinion. I generally just do it how they suggest it and just plug them in the back here just as some, like, I don't know, extra barrels that the truck is carrying around. But either way, that's them. They look pretty good in their little alt modes, with one big exception in that, oh geez, the same problem that I had with the Huffer mold, which thankfully was easy to fix, but just to illustrate it here, I haven't done it yet. If you look at the truck mode, it kind of buckles down the middle, like, and you can't really straighten it out more than that because it has these little pegs right here on the back of what will become the feet that plug onto these little parts right here on the waist section. And yeah, those pegs really should have been a little bit further forward because when you plug them in, it kind of forces it to kind of tilt back like this. So it kind of has this like downward arc to it, like the truck itself, like buckled right there. And I don't think that looks particularly good. Like it's kind of bent in like that. Like comparing it to Huffer, I fixed this just by cutting off those little pegs. Like they're not, you know, structurally necessary in either mode. And now I can plug it in all the way and actually straighten out the cab. And so instead of being like that, it's like that. You know, it's a subtle change, but it's really easy to notice in person, like how much more level this truck feels than these guys, where they're kind of like dragging their their chest sections on the ground. So I'm probably going to do that same edit to them after I did this review. I just wanted to leave them, you know, intact to kind of show off that problem. But, you know, if you're fine with just cutting some small tabs off your figures, then it's not really a problem, but it is worth noting that out of the box they are like that. So yeah, here they are with Huffer. I find it, I'll get into this a little bit more in robot mode, but I find it a little bit strange that they decided to use the pipes mold for Puffer, since the whole point of Puffer as a character is he's halfway in between Pipes being blue and Huffer using the Huffer mold, hence Puffer. But if it's using the Pipes mold, it's kind of just entirely Pipes. Like, it's not the exact same as Pipes because some of the color layout is a little bit different, but it has no Huffer in it really at all, which again I'll get into in robot mode again. But you know, either way, it's fine for an obscure character like that. I get why in the box set they didn't want to include just, like, you know, two figures that were exactly the same in Sculpt, because if you wanted it to be the most accurate, it really would use the exact same mold as Road Ranger, because it was just a straight up repaint of the G1 Huffer. But yeah, that's what they look like with Huffer. For a standard size comparison, here they are with Siege Sideswipe. Here they are with Jackpot, the other Golden Disc Collection guy that we have so far. And then more specifically for Road Ranger, here he is with Bug Bite, the other one of his little, you know, G1 mini bot repaints into GoBots characters. And that's kind of cool. It's nice to have those guys together. It'd be cool, you know, if they do a new, like, Power Glide or Cosmos, or like they could do a repaint of Warpath, because those were some of the other ones that they use. It'd be nice to kind of fill out that team over time, maybe through Gen Selects and other kind of exclusive stuff like this, since they are pretty obscure. But either way, that's pretty much all there is to say about the vehicle modes. Transformation, of course, is almost exactly just like Huffer. I say almost because there are a few different things to do with Puffer here and the Pipes mold in general, but we'll kind of go through them together because they're pretty much the same, and it's pretty simple. First thing you want to do is just untab the legs here, fold them out like that, split them, and then take the little plates on the back here and then flip them to the back to become the heels, and do that on both of them here. There we go. You want to untab the arms here from this back section and kind of fold it up on a double hinge. And then you want to untab these from the waist section. They tab in. So it's like a few different things that are kind of annoying to do at once, but you want to fold the hands up like that and then bring this whole section down so you have clearance to fold the wheels inside the body and then fold this back up like that. Then you can take the arms on these little orange armatures and fold them up just like that. Rotate the forearms so they're facing forward, and then rotate his head around, and then we can kind of double hinge this section back however you want it. You can have it like straight up like that, so it's like perfectly, parallel. Or what I kind of like to do is just tilt it back a little bit so it sits a little bit more further above his head and looks a little bit more natural. But if you don't like the angle like that, then to each his own. Either way, I tend to do it like that because it just feels a little bit more organic, I guess. So there we have Road Ranger, and then with Puffer, it's mostly the same. You unfold the arms down here, fold down the hands, untab them from the waist, bring this section back so that you can flip the wheels into the body, just like that. Fold this section up, bring the arms up, rotate them forward, rotate the head forward. And then with this section, since Pipes actually his back section was oriented a little bit differently, same here as with Puffer, there's actually a little swivel joint on this armature that doesn't exist on this mold. So you can swivel this section around and have it sit like that. And that looks pretty nice. It's a little bit more naturally sitting than that, but it is, I like it like this for them because it's more accurate to Huffer, but, that works better for the Pipes mold. But yeah, there they are in robot mode, and they look pretty good. Obviously, you can give them their weapons. For Puffer here, you can obviously have him hold them or just like plug them onto his arm as like arm cannons. In terms of storage, you could like tab them onto his on his hips here. They sit out a little bit to the side, but that's not too bad. What I generally do is just keep them plugged into the arms and just flip them the other way. I don't really mind that. It's as storage, I think it works just fine, but there's nowhere to really store them on the back or anything like that. I mean, you could peg it in there, but you can only peg in one of them there, so not really. But that's good enough for me. And then for Road Ranger here, obviously you can take this piece and kind of hold it as a little claw shield type thing, and then take the two halves of the sides of the bed there and just plug them back together to give him his gun. And that's cool. I think that works a little bit better for Road Ranger than it did for Huffer, just because, like, I don't know, Huffer was always kind of like a wimpy, kind of lazy guy in the show. He didn't really seem like much of a fighter, so it doesn't really feel totally right to have him have A, weapons, but B, like this big weapon. So I think it looks a little bit better with Road Ranger. For storage, I generally just leave the shield on his arm and then plug this into the back here. It's not like super elegant, but it works well enough, I think. In terms of articulation, they're of course the exact same as the Huffer mold. The ball joint. The head is on a ball joint here, so it can get a little bit of wiggle. It can swivel back and forth. Of course, you can tilt this to your liking. The shoulders are on swivels, and then a separate hinge here. Got a bicep swivel. A degree or two under 90 at the elbow there. The wrists can only bend in on that weird sort of awkward joint for transformation, so not really anything there. It's got a waist cut, universal hips that can go forward and back, and most of the way out to the side. Really deep knee bends from transformation, and then ankle tilt. And then you can also, I guess, untab this section if you want to adjust the the angle of his foot a little bit. You can't really, like, it's not, the panel is loose enough that you won't really be able to support it like on wide poses like that. Like, it would just give in under the weight, but there is kind of a slight like click into place here, and if you get it just on the outside of that click, it can support it like that. So it's a very, very, very minor change, but still worth mentioning. And I'm not going to go through the whole same thing with Puffer there. It's the exact same. He does have some remolded parts, but overall it's still the exact same articulation, aside from obviously this thing is a little bit different, but they do both have new head sculpts. I like the Road Ranger head sculpt here, which is basically, the sculpt is just kind of a toy accurate Huffer head, which you know, and they've decided to give Puffer the pipes head here. So I mean, it is a new head sculpt for me because I don't have pipes yet, but this is the same head sculpt that we will see on pipes when he comes out. And you know, it works for him. Like I said before, like if you really wanted to be the most accurate to the original Puffer toy, you would use this exact mold because he did have the mouth plate. So this is a more accurate head sculpt than the one that was on our Kingdom Huffer, but this would be the most accurate head sculpt. Like I said, I get it. You know, they didn't want to just release this exact same mold twice in the same pack. It makes sense. It's just a little weird to me is like why he would be called Puffer now if he's not halfway between Huffer and Pipes. He's really just Pipes with a lighter blue and his chest is white instead of blue. And that's pretty much it, right? In terms of remolding, I'll just show it off with him since he's mostly the same as Huffer aside from the head. Obviously, the heads are changed. The chests are also a different section here. The waist section is different. The arms are actually different. He's got the shoulder pieces, while mostly casting the same silhouette, are slightly different. The little connector piece in between the elbows and the shoulders is the same. The forearms are different. He doesn't have this little extra like sideways pipe section here. The hands are actually different, which I was really surprised at because like why would the hands have to be different? But you know, he's got a little piece there where the original one did not. And then aside from that, I mean, obviously the little armature section that holds on this piece is different because it has that extra swivel in there, but it's the same cab section. The legs are entirely the same, I think. Yeah, looks like, oh, the wheels are different, which is something else that surprised me. This one has like the little 6 dots on there and this one does not. Strange, but you know, cool, I guess. And I think that's it. Yeah, the thighs are the same. And then all the other, you know, sort of like little inner mechanical pieces like that hold everything together. All the little armatures are obviously the same, but you know, still a pretty decent amount of remolding there. Obviously that was all, you know, more so done for Pipes for when he comes out, but this is the first I'm seeing of it, so that's what they look like together. For comparisons, here they are with Siege Sideswipe again. Here they are with Jackpot, the other you know, Golden Disc Collection figure that we've gotten so far. And luckily with them, you know, Jackpot had that sort of weird sort of misassembly thing with the head. There's nothing like that on them. They both feel just as good to me as the original Huffer mold, which is good. Here they are with Huffer, of course. So you can see, you know, mostly the same sculpt as Road Ranger here, just the heads are different. But yeah, they look good together. And last but not least, here mostly Road Ranger is with Bug Bite. And yeah, it's a little weird that they've decided to, you know, not be consistent with how they're factioning these little GoBot guys, because I was pretty sure all of the little GoBot guys in like the eHobby comics or whatever were on the same team. So it's a little weird that they've decided to just make Road Ranger a straight up Autobot, and they have Bug Bite being this little, you know, nefarious like mercenary faction. I sort of wish they were the same, but it wouldn't be too hard to get a sticker to like, you know, put a mercenary faction on him, or I don't know, maybe they're undercover in their respective groups, but they're still a team. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do if they do more of these little eHobby GoBots references. But either way, that's pretty much all there is to these guys. I mean, you know, if you like the Huffer mold, you'll like these guys. They're both good. You know, it's a little weird to me that they decided to use the Pipes mold to make Puffer, but I understand why they did it, just for like having 2 slightly different figures in the set. And at the end of the day, it's like I don't care that much, you know. It's like Puffer was a really weird, obscure character anyway, so it's like I don't care if they use the wrong mold for him. The only real problem I have, and again, it's the same problem they have with Huffer, is just these little tabs on the back of the feet that plug into this section here and make the truck kind of buckle. But again, it's a really easy fix. Like, they're very small tabs and you can't see them in either mode, so it doesn't, you know, it doesn't look too bad, even if it's like kind of an ugly cut like I did here. It's like you can't see it in either mode, so who really cares? I guess it, you know, in theory lowers the collector grade quality of them or whatever, but I don't care about that. But yeah, you know, that's pretty much all there is to it. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And oh, I just realized I forgot to show off one thing. The box. I don't usually show off the box, so I forgot, but I have been wanting to kind of like show these off as they come in. They've got another corner of the little golden disc collection here, and if you take Jackpot's box and you put it next to it, it's starting to build this image of the golden disc. And it's going to be kind of a nice display. I'm assuming Pterosaur is going to be the top left corner because he's also a single deluxe, which is what this one was. And then the mutant Tigatron is going to be the top right corner, which will be kind of an awkwardly sized box for a Voyager, but whatever. It's worth it to complete the little image there. But yeah, that's what that looks like. Anyway, that's enough about them. But here we have Golden Disc Collection, Puffer, and Road Ranger.